have Mike Dombo with Melcrum. Mike, tell me a little bit about Melcrum.
Well, Melcrum is what you call a syndicated research company. We do research and training in internal communications.
Okay.
And we do it mainly for very large, globally dispersed organizations that have rather robust internal communications departments with the challenges of dealing with various levels of employees.
Wow.
So some of those companies will include folks like Pfizer or ExxonMobil or Coca-Cola. And what we basically do with them is to help solve their more critical issues as they arise.
Wonderful. Hello, Rebecca.
Hi, Nicole. How are you?
And
Jeff Hostler.
Jeff, how are you?
Very good, thanks.
Jeff is going to be speaking with us tonight.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So I'm with Melcrum. I'm the VP for Research and Content. I'm going to be presenting an overview and a summary of our latest research, the future for internal communications.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, we can't wait to hear.
Yep.
Thank you.
To introduce myself, I'm Rebecca Michelson, and I'm the chair of social media for IABC-LA. Thank you so much for coming. I see several new faces and several people that we've seen before, so we're really grateful. Sponsored by Melcrum, and they do strategic research on internal communications and also use those findings in an actionable way for training as well as executive advice and kind of a technology transfer in that sense. Today's topic is the future for internal communications. This is the latest of 4 annual reports that Melcrum does every year. And Jeff Hostler is that right?
That's right.
Is Vice President for Research and Content for Melcrum. Now, he's just been with them a month. And he...
For internal communication, we have 4 research projects a year. Melcrum's been around for about 16 years, going on 16 years. And as she said, I've been with the company for a month, but my background is about 21 years within internal communications, both on the corporate side and on the consulting, to have the opportunity to do the research and find out what makes companies tick with the internal communication, and then bring information and insight to companies to help them. And we talked about the evolution of internal communications. It used to be something that was done off the side of somebody's desk, perhaps way back when. But now we're being recognized as a separate, necessary. And then it's a way to show stakeholders how a disciplined approach to internal communication can support it. There's a lot of focus on the financial. There's a lot of stories to tell about financial turnaround. And the companies are coming out. We're doing better. We're not in the black. We're not laying people off. We're hiring again. But it's more about the financial position the company can take. We've yet to see companies start to focus on people in the way they need to. And there's a disconnect. The organization, I maybe don't trust leadership. I don't know whether I'm going to promise that you're going to have a job with the same company. Well, maybe your company. That people are there for since the 60s, but not even in your company anymore. That you're not going to have a job. It's not guaranteed for life. So it's what is it? What am I here to do? What is the company going to give me? That deal needs to be redefined. It may not be broken in every company. It's not always from a negative place, but it does need to be redefined. Now down, higher number, 45%, but look all the way at the top. Transparent and honest practice with knowledge workers, and knowledge workers tend to be paid more than line workers. So how do you connect? And so for global companies, whether you're just in 1 or 2 countries, whether you're all over, you're not going to be replacing them with a bunch of 65-year-old men and women who speak one way. You're going to be replacing them largely with Generation Y, Generation Z, 10 years from now. Or think past that, think 15, 20 years from now. So it's got to change. The channels that you have to connect those people in the way they expect and need to connect, very, very important.
We actually went through our first reductions, our first layoffs in 80 years, and I think a lot of the employee value proposition of our organization was, I have a job for life, and that was a big shock for a lot of people, and so I think that is something that's ongoing in terms of, so while we've tried to...
Clients who are doing the mentor relationship where the older, the more experienced people in the organization help, focus on something, your leadership skills or your engagement with your team and management skills, while the younger generation says, okay, but you can use social networking this way, or the employee value proposition has changed and needs to be redefined. Very important for that time as, wow, a downturn, so to speak, even more important. We need Facebook for our company. We need this. We need that. And that's not where you want to go. It's not where you want to start. You want to conduct a channel review. It's what are you trying to do? What is the business trying to accomplish? What are the strategic objectives that we have? And how can the channels through social media help us achieve those, okay?
So right now I'm working on, putting up interesting comment. I actually found a nice program called Hootsuite, which allows you to schedule everything. And for me, I manage a Twitter and a Facebook account.
We've kind of taken the viral approach and let the peers recommend other peers to join social media. And what's also really worked well is the executives joining the social media.
So a lot of the themes that we talked about earlier.
The other thing was we had it built to performance management plans, so that managers were measured on whether or not they did it. Our executives were measured on how often they got out per year and did town halls. So we had a human resources element to it as well as a tools element to it to make it work.
They worked out a month. They were sending to them a third in direct email copy. The average email length was like 600 words, and 2/3 in links, right?
And anyone read that amount of information?
Right, and they worked out that was To Kill a Mockingbird, Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird. They're asking them to read in their spare time at work every month.
It's a Japanese term, and it's like our business plan, and we do them annually and measure against them quarterly. And our measurement was to find more managers to participate in leadership, which worked out really well, and that helped because managers have a lot more flexible time and more access to vice presidents and people at higher levels. And so now they're a lot more effective, they're getting more done, there are more managers in leadership.
So we are trying to move away from less emails and more, maybe we actually developed a new intranet site where all the building move communications is now being consolidated. So
Great, wonderful, yeah, that's the last bit.
Any recommendations on how you might be able to convince executives that we need to take at least a tiny amount of time from the productive staff to get this program off the ground if we're going to make it?
What are they going after? I mean, what do they want to solve, do with the employees, and then how could you translate what you need to do in a way that they would understand it? So you, executive, are asking us to do A, B, and C, right? Mm-hmm. In order to do that, engagement plays a key.
And we started really kind of getting, at first, it took a while, but now, a few years down the road, we really are called on more in that way. And I think what we really turned it around, rather than saying, sure, that's a nice idea, your Comic Sans thing you want to do. And I think just start saying, frankly, that's amateur hour. If you really want to get real, let's get to what the heart of it. We challenge them to say, you have to work harder to define something to let us, so here's what this is really about. And by being more confident and more direct with them, it really made them say, oh, there is something more to this. It's like, what do you want to do?
Value, right? You're not going to walk into a senior leader or your CEO and say, well, yeah, you have questions, but you're going to bring.
Jeff mentioned black belt training. The research you saw today comes out of what we call a research forum, and that's work that we do with just under 50 very large groups. We're very glad to be
here. We do IABC After Dark, and we basically pick a local restaurant, watering hole, bar. Jeff, I'll be happy to treat you to that glass of wine that you mentioned.
Yeah, that's great.
Terry McKenzie. What company do you work with?
I have my own company called @TMAC-Works.
Okay, and what did you take away from tonight?
It's really interesting to see the research that's been done and how it ties into business trends and the whole trust in business, trust in government, and what we as communicators need to think about if we want to influence that.
Fantastic. Yes. Thank you so much, Terry.
My pleasure. Thank you.